And here we are, armed with a hoe. Pretty dirty hoe. Who's been using this? Ah, shocking. And if you imagine, well, it's good not having the other teepee here, because what I'm going to do is 2 rows of peas across the bed in the traditional method, which is basically a shallow trench and the peas scattered in it. Let's try it out. So I've put marker sticks in, and these are dwarf peas, and they're going to get to around about 45 centimetres. That tells me that I need to put the rows around about 45 centimetres apart. It's a good way of judging it. So here we go. Scooping out, really. So it's around about 15 centimetres wide, our little trench. Some lumpy bits at the bottom there. And effectively what you're creating is a band of plants. More bindweed. Try not to bring all the soil to one end like I've just done. That's a bit unfortunate. So we're going down a couple of inches, 5 centimetres. And I'll just do the one just to show you. More bindweed. Bindweed City. Okay, I could spend a little bit more time tidying that up, but it'll do for the moment. And the way I will do it is not to try and place seeds exactly in position. Robin's coming to help. Hello, mate. So I need more seeds in this, don't I? Basically, that's it. Scatter them. And then we can tweak them around a little bit. Reserve packet. It's the same one. This is one called Progress number 9. Okay. And it's one thing to do that, but just a quick moving around the seed just with your finger. Doesn't have to be too accurate, just to give them a bit extra spacing. I'm just going to come around the other side, do that. And that will do. There's a couple quite close there. That's fine. And the spacing in the end, well, it varies anything between 5 to 7 centimetres, I suppose. Some of those are a little bit closer, some are a bit further apart. Shocking. Before I fill it in, the support system. Now, they are dwarf, but they still need some help. And this is great. This is the traditional method. And the traditional method means that you use some branches, and it's easy to do this before filling in because you can see where the peas are. Yes, brilliant. So just push these in. Nice twiggy branches. Whatever you can find, really. These are just prunings, so it's quite handy to have them. I find elder works quite well, quite brittle, but it's still quite twiggy, and what they want is something to climb up and hang on to. So you know, you can put in quite, I don't know, maybe that kind of thing is less useful because it's only got little bits on it, but it will still be, you know, if you have a number of those, it will still work. In fact, I can slot that in amongst the previous ones. Okay, that probably is enough. You can always put one or two more in afterwards. And now I can just push the soil back in amongst the sticks. Might get in there with my hands, I think. The only problem now is what creatures are going to have a go at them, because peas are exceptionally tasty, particularly when they've just germinated. They're very much sweeter, and mice and birds will love them. These here on the Ashley Vale side seem to be particularly vulnerable to birds. They will pull them out, eat the partially germinated seed and leave the little shoot left on the surface. So this is probably not enough protection, and I might put a little bit of netting around the outside of that. So this is the dwarf peas. You can grow tall peas, in which case pop them on a teepee. You might put them in a little bit closer than the beans I showed in the previous clip. Yeah, so that's wonderful. The remaining bit to consider is what else can be put into this apart from peas and beans. Well, actually, there's a lot of other things which can be included in the same family. Why not try some chickpeas and some lentils? I'm going to put one or two chickpeas in just to give them just try them out, really. And I'll move down to the front of the bed to do that. So I've got a couple of rows here. I haven't put string lines up or anything, but they're quite short rows, so I can do it by eye. Interestingly, around about the same spacing as the peas are going in, 45 centimetres, because these are actually quite big plants, chickpeas, and all I've got is some from a whole food shop, and the spacing is really quite wide, but they also go in quite deep. Can't quite reach everything. I'll start this side of the drill. So I'm going down probably a couple of inches. And we can put them in closer than we need them to be because, well, they're very cheap seed. We don't need to worry too much about the cost of them. But they will be thinned to probably, well, wider than 6 inches apart. And so if I put them in every, I don't know, 7 centimetres, 3 inches, something like that, and they've got to be at least 5, 7 centimetres deeper, and then we'll thin them out afterwards. I'll finish that row off in a moment because What we just need to complete the whole picture with is some companion planting. And it's the same, well, mixture actually, companion planting and what's called intercropping. So if we go back to our original teepee, we've still got space here. It's an approximate circle. We've got space on the corners, we've got space in the middle. A lettuce in a pot, how splendid. Let's use that one. So the intercropping is where you put one crop in amongst another one. That's very straightforward. Let's bung it right in the middle. Bigger pot, a little bit harder to part the soil to get that in, but we'll do it. There, look at that. I think we probably could have got 3 in there, to tell you the truth, but never mind. And around the edges we can put some companion plants, so similar to the ones we put in amongst the potatoes. These are the convolvulus. They have a blue flower, yeah, relative of that blighter I'm having to take out every 5 minutes, the bindweed. So these have been grown in a seed tray. I'm just tearing plants off, or trying to anyway. Like that. So I can use the corners. This is another corner. Great, I'll carry on with that. Some on the other side. And pretty complete. Just a nice watering and get a mulch down and off we go. And just over here, just to say goodbye to you, is our Robin. Bye bye, Robin.